Welcome to Films and Stuff with your hosts, Pete Mitchell and Ethan Hunt.
All right, Pete, Films and Stuff. We are back Saturday morning. Heat wave in the UK, naturally hot in Dubai, and we've got some hot episodes this week as well.
Unbelievable. Honestly, after last week's extra credit assignment, I thought this might be an experiment that kind of dies on the, let's say, on the blackboard, on the research stage.
Yeah, something, a good idea in principle, but not in reality, right?
Maybe not in execution.
Yeah.
And I have to say, we both lucked out because I was chosen to watch Blackbird. You were chosen to watch The Outer Range.
Yeah.
And spoiler alert, both are must subscribes. Am I right?
Fantastic. So just by randomness, yep, you had Blackbird on Apple TV
Plus. Yep.
You wanna go through and just kind of summarize maybe the high points, and we can jibber jabber about it a bit, and then we'll go into Outer Range.
Absolutely. So first things first, based on a true story.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously a little bit of dramatization, I'm sure, but that already ticks a lot of boxes because, seeing things that are kind of like biopics and seeing things that are based on true stories kind of gets the juices going. Second thing, Taron Egerton, excellent. And by God, like the last time I remember seeing him was in Rocketman as Elton John.
Oh, yeah.
And he seems to be like 10 times bigger now. He seems super, super duper jacked. And I think this is in preparation because he's been in talks with Marvel to play Wolverine.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think he may already have the role because his body transformation, certainly if not from Rocketman, if you compare him to like what he was in The Kingsman, which is where I think most people first learned of Taron Egerton.
Yeah.
It's not that he was a tiny guy, but he was a svelte figure. And he is built like an upside down triangle right now. He is jacked.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's a tangent. This is a very good story. It's Taron Egerton basically plays a high school football star. He's now in his early 20s. And he kind of dropped out of high school, dropped out of football, and got into drug trafficking.
It's like a small time or maybe a medium time drug dealer, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. So, and so he gets busted for narcotic possession. He gets busted for illegal firearm possession. And he gets sent to jail. He takes a plea deal. He thought that he would have to do like 2 to 4 years. And the judge ends up throwing the book at him, and he does 10 years.
Yep, 10 years.
And so through the course of the first episode, maybe the second episode, he decides to take a deal with the FBI, and he becomes an informant because simultaneously we see that there's another character who's, what is the word? He's not agreed. He's confessed. He's confessed to committing a bunch of crimes, murders of women, but nobody can find the bodies. So, and he's known as a serial confessor. So the point is that they hire Taron Egerton to basically get information out of this guy to figure out where the bodies are buried. And they said that if you do that, we'll spring you out of jail. And the reason he does that is because his father has had a stroke, played by the late and great Ray Liotta. This is Ray Liotta's final performance. And that's where we are now. He's been kind of put into the same prison as this other guy, and he's trying to get information out of him.
So basically,
it sounds very basic.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that the drama comes in that the facility that he's transferred to is really like hard time, no nonsense, max security, like guys in there for life, people who have obvious, psychiatric problems. It goes from something of a kind of a medium or light security, just stay out of trouble, read your book and exercise, to something where like you got to watch your back all the time, like you're going to get shanked. And he's got to befriend the character whose name is Larry, who's at best creepy and at worst psychopath, right?
And he is excellent as playing a creepy guy. Honestly, he is super creepy.
It's a tough role to do, right? It's really a tough role to be like, hey, we need you. It's fun to play a superhero. It's tough to be like, hey, we need you to play a really creepy, kind of pedophilic, sociopath. Are you up for it? Like, it's just kind of a cringeworthy role to like even read the script.
It is, but I think that it's also one of those roles that really makes you break out in Hollywood, because it's one of those roles that's so hard to pull off convincingly. And by God, he's convincing. He is
too much
really
so,
convincing.
Really too much so, right?
And so anyway, it sounds like a very boring, or not boring, but like a standard setup for a TV series, but this is a mini series. It's based on a true story, and the acting is so phenomenal. It's very deliberate. It's slow paced. It's not fast paced at all. And on that basis, it is by and far a must watch.
Yeah.
You must not just watch it. You have to subscribe to Apple TV for it. Yep. It's genuinely an excellent, excellent, excellent TV show.
Yeah. And you know what? This is really, I think, the Apple TV Plus wheelhouse. We saw this kind of with Tom Hanks in Greyhound, and the other one where he's, got the robot and the dog, when the world ended. They make very powerful stories, a lot of storytelling, not a lot of big explosions, and not a lot of, production cost, right? I mean, it's pretty low cost. To film a bunch of stuff in a prison, right? It's just kind of gray walls. Nothing has to be clean. Nothing has to be shined up.
No special effects. Nothing like that. Yeah.
Exactly. So, I mean, there's really, as you mentioned, Taryn, and then the investigator, I guess, is Greg Kinnear, who's the only
Greg Kinnear. That's right.
Big name in here. And again, they're all very, very tight shots, in locations that aren't like, you don't have to shut down, New York City streets, for an afternoon to film some, explosions and cars being upended. So I think this is exactly where Apple should be, pick a couple stars, Ray Liotta, obviously at the tail end of his career, powerful story, and, just kind of let the actor and the directors do their thing.
Yeah, it's wonderful. And I don't want to say much. It's not a show that's easy to spoil, because it's not a bombastic, every episode has a cliffhanger kind of thing. It's nothing like that.
Although I have to say, you're right about that. Although I have to say, I don't know how it ends.
Neither do I.
And it could be, either outcome is plausible to me, right? Which could be that he elicits the confession, or he may say, hey, look, this dude is crazy as hell, but
he's innocent.
Yeah, he's actually innocent. You've got the wrong guy. Or it could be something kind of in the middle, which is, I guess there's probably going to be at least, one twist.
Maybe it's his brother, right?
Yeah.
It could be Larry instead of Gary. It could be Gary instead of Larry, whatever it is.
Gary and Larry. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm actually not clear how it's going to end, although, and I think that's really the brilliance of it, is that you're really not sure, what to think.
Yeah, and I don't want to do my background research on the show in case I spoil myself. I want to know, this is only 6 episodes. It's a mini series. Yeah. I want to watch the so-called truth on screen, not on a Wikipedia article.
What was the other Apple TV Plus miniseries with Chris Evans where his son was, do you remember, on trial for potentially murdering a classmate? You remember the name of that show?
I don't recall the name of that one.
So that was very similar as well, in the sense that they're kind of based on true stories. They're kind of
Defending Jacob.
Yeah, Defending Jacob, right? They're kind of, a mini series. They're based kind of on true stories with some dramatization, and obviously the stories are compelling because you're really not sure what to believe. Did he do it? Did he not do it? Is he covering for someone? Is it just a bunch of coincidences? And that one, obviously the outcome is pretty good if you haven't seen that as well. So yeah, dude, you really nailed it with Blackbird. Absolutely must subscribe. I totally agree with you.
Again, this is thankfully your list and the luck of the draw. Wonderful show. I highly recommend it. In fact, I told Ethan about it and he ended up watching it as well this week. That's how good it was.
I also helped with your homework.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so why don't we talk about The Outer Range, your homework assignment?
Yeah, so my homework is The Outer Range, which is on Amazon Prime. And absolutely, it is also a must subscribe. I'm in the middle of binging it, even though we were just supposed to watch 2 episodes. And my assumption when I saw this, it's, Josh Brolin, I guess, is the biggest name here. I thought this was going to be Yellowstone for Amazon. I thought it was going to be exactly the same thing that we saw with Kevin Costner, and that this one is in Wyoming instead of Yellowstone's Montana. And I thought Josh Brolin's going to play that Kevin Costner character, and it was going to be kind of the same stuff. And it starts like this, but I don't know if I should say quickly or not quickly. But it flips into something that's a little bit more, I don't know if I want to say sci-fi. I would say anyone who saw Lost, the original Lost series where the plane crashes and everyone's on the island and there's some kind of like spiritual something on the island. Mm-hmm. That would be the best, I think, comparison for this, which is it's definitely a Western. But there's obviously some science fiction or fantastical or magical element to it, but not in an like a silly or a unbelievable way, in more of a mysterious way.
Is that like a natural mystery versus an extraterrestrial mystery?
Yes.
Yeah. So because I remember seeing the trailer when it first was announced, I don't know, a couple months ago or 3 months ago, whatever it was. And I remember the way they set up the trailer, it felt very M. Night Shyamalan-esque based on the trailer, which was, there's definitely a mystery, but it felt supernatural. Yeah. And I thought, okay, this is going to be like a Cowboys versus Aliens kind of vibe. And so I was like, okay, that sounds fine, but it's not my wheelhouse. It's a pass. And generally speaking, that's why I put it on the list, was because it's not our wheelhouse. On paper, or at least on first impressions, and that's why I put it on the list. But when you said that, I'm very happy to hear that, and in fact, it is now going to become my extra credit assignment for this coming week.
Yeah, we've also seen this in the past where there's farmer and there's kind of crop circle and there's like an alien living in his barn. This is, at least so far, this is not that. Okay. It's not something that kind of trite so far. So I have to say it's really exceptional. And one of the things that I contrast the most with Yellowstone is that Yellowstone, you and I have even remarked, it's kind of too good to be true. Like Kevin Costner lives in a very clean ranch, right? Yeah. Like his shirts are always pressed. They've always got like very nice North Face vests on, it makes it seem like, oh, Montana must be so great. It seems like what a great lifestyle, right? Whereas Outer Range depicts living on a ranch a little bit more, I would expect realistically, Like it just kind of like even like their kitchen is a little bit more lived in, it shows like a furniture that's not, brand new, from a luxury store. It shows, kind of land that's got like some divots in it. It's not perfect fence posts and, these green pastures everywhere. So I find that that's a little bit more realistic in terms of the depiction. So I thought it was just going to be a grittier Yellowstone, but it turned out to be something more. And I'm absolutely hooked. I highly, highly recommend it. Josh Brolin's great. And the rest of the cast, Not a lot of big names, but everyone's quite accomplished, and they play their roles in a fantastic way.
Excellent. I'm in. Just that alone gets me in. I hear you on what you're saying about Yellowstone, because Yellowstone to me always seemed kind of like the California tech billionaires' idea of what owning a ranch is.
Yeah.
Which is, I'm going to be a ranch hand, but I'm not really going to do the work. I'm going to have my guys there, and I'm going to look like I'm a rancher, but I'm not actually going to be a rancher.
I mean, he even had brand new trucks, and he had the helicopter.
Yeah,
and
exactly. Exactly.
It was the lawns and everything were just manicured so well, which is great for television. It's nice to see, but even watching it, it's kind of like, it seems a little bit like
a little too good to be true.
Like, doesn't seem like there's any dry cleaners like anywhere within where they live,
Right.
And that was quite violent as well. Whereas there is some violence in this, but it's not as many shootouts and stuff like that. So yes, absolutely, highly, highly recommend Outer Range as well. And then you and I both did a third extra credit this week.
Yeah.
Is that right?
And kudos to you. All credit goes to Ethan on this one. I don't even know how he found it.
Nor do I.
So
it's on Netflix, right? Or no, it's on Hulu.
It's on Hulu. That's right. So
yes.
It's I can't.
It's called The Old Man
Network. I think it's an FX production, but
I think it is as well.
Streaming on Hulu, something like that.
Yeah, streaming on Hulu, and the name is The Old Man.
Jeff Daniels,
we haven't seen in a long. No, Jeff Bridges.
Sorry, I don't know why I thought Jeff Daniels. You're right, Jeff.
You're
Bridges.
getting. You're thinking Dumb and Dumber. Yeah.
I am
so Jeff Bridges, John Lithgow. Say no more, right?
Unbelievable. What a cast. What a cast.
Yeah. And a bunch of other folks, I hate to just say like a bunch, but folks that you would absolutely recommend, from some other places, right? So it is super. I can't remember how I came across it as well, but I saw it on Hulu, and the name, I must have been really desperate for something that day, because the name The Old Man, and just kind of looking at the trailer, which has a very gray bearded Jeff Bridges and kind of a stoic looking John Lithgow, doesn't immediately speak to me. But I have to say, once I got into it, I just went from episode to episode to episode. I think I knocked out like the whole season in a night and a half. 6 episodes, 7 episodes, maybe?
The 7th and final episode dropped yesterday. So or 2 days ago. That's right.
Yeah. So it is absolutely fantastic. I think we can just say the summary is that Jeff Bridges worked for some type of agency, I guess the
some
CIA.
3-letter agency, yeah.
Yeah. And he tried to get out, and now they are pulling him back in. And it just kind of goes through it, but he plays that role extremely well. John Lithgow, who I don't think has ever had a bad role in his life,
good God,
is superb as well, right?
Is absolutely superb as Harold Harper. Really, the casting is exemplary.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if you know Liam Lubani, she's kind of always like I guess like a sexy assassin. Like that's her role. Alia Shawkat, who I remember from Arrested Development. Right?
That's right. Maybe, right?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's all grown up and looks kind of totally different.
Crazy different, not just a little different. Yeah. Like if you hadn't told me that was maybe, I would have said, I could kind of see it. And it
took me episodes. I was like, I know who that is. Where have I seen her from? And I wanted to kind of look on IMDb, but I prefer to like figure it out myself, right? I just thought it would come to me. And then like she said something, and it was kind of like the same line that I've heard her say in Arrested Development. I'm like, no way. That's Cousin Maybe.
That's funny.
I was like, wow.
That's brilliant.
That blew my mind. It really, really blew my mind.
It's we're purposefully being a little vague about the plot.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it for everybody.
Yeah, which is funny because normally we are the two spoiler alert guys, but it's a testament to how good the show is. And if it weren't, I was thinking about this earlier today, if it weren't for Slow Horses on Apple TV, I think this is another show that Apple TV would have otherwise snapped up in a heartbeat. Slow Horses has it's a
Gary
spy
Oldman.
drama starring Gary Oldman, and this is another spy thriller. This, I think, is a little less international in the sense that it's a lot more American based. It's about, one of the 3-letter American agencies, whether it's the CIA, FBI, or NSA. They're not super clear on it. They're a little vague on it. And I think that'll get clearer over time. And whereas Slow Horses is more about MI6 in London. And there's some parallels there, certainly in genre.
If you had to choose one, which would you choose?
So I think
I would choose The Old Man.
It's so funny is I think out of a spy thriller, I think I liked Slow Horses better. And I say that only because we left season 1 on The Old Man, not on a cliffhanger per se, but with a lot of threads left untied. Yeah. Whereas Slow Horses kind of tied everything up at the end of the season. And for a serialized or, for an episodic TV show, for a spy thriller, I like that it kind of closes up the threads at the end of every season and we pick up a new threat at the beginning of the next.
Okay. Very similar genres, a lot of twists and turns.
Oh yeah, brilliant.
Pay attention.
Yeah, it's one of those shows where you should pay attention because you can get away with not paying attention, but you'll get a lot more out of it if you do pay attention. We didn't throw a shout out to Zoe, the actor who plays Zoe, also relatively excellent, right? As the jilted ex-wife of this
Amy Brenneman. Yeah, Amy Brenneman.
Very good. She was very good. And, it's not what you would expect out of Jeff Bridges.
Yeah, it's a good role for him. It's a very good role for him, huh?
Yeah.
I have to say, we've said this before, but something about, 2022 is kind of the year of the older action hero, right? These guys are not young anymore.
Yeah, I would say senior versus middle-aged. Yeah, these guys are definitely well into their 60s and they're still kicking ass right now.
Yeah, Jeff Bridges you're right. He doesn't even pretend to play like someone who's 49 or 55. He's in his 60s, right?
Yep. And you see him take his licks as well, right? In that first episode, you see him take a beating.
I have to say, how do you feel about this, though? Entertainment aside, when you watch Jeff Bridges fight another trained dude, right, who's, you assume he's let's say 28, 32, something like that. Yeah. How do you feel that Jeff Bridges, right? How do you feel when Jeff Bridges is winning that hand-to-hand combat fight?
That's the thing I liked about this is that he wasn't winning. It was the fact was that he had to hit one of them with a car. The fact was he needed to have his dogs help out. If it were one-on-one, I think he wouldn't have won those fights. And that comes into, where experience comes into play over youthful exuberance or energy, right?
Yeah.
If we had seen him very easily take down people with no assistance, I think that would have lost a lot of credibility for me because you're just listen, I'm sorry, you may be this great super spy, but a 25-year-old or a 30-year-old is definitely going to take out a 65-year-old, 70-year-old man. There's no question about it.
It's one of the things that for me can really ruin a show or a movie. Yeah. And it goes both ways. the old kind of, SEAL team, right? Which I think is on ABC or CBS network in the US. I mean, those guys go into like these missions, right? Let's say they go into, I don't know, pick your country, right? And there's like 50 bad guys, 5 SEAL team guys, and they're hitting everybody with like, double tap headshots, like they're just running and taking out everybody, right? For me, that's really frustrating. It's like, come on, like just the sheer numbers, like none of these guys got wounded. None of them got clipped. Every single person, like, their enemy may be wearing like bulletproof vest or something. Like every single guy they're hitting directly in the head or the neck and taking them out with like one shot. To me, that's also very frustrating to watch. And then the flip side, of course, is I don't think they did that with the old man, but at times I felt they got a little bit aggressive with, Jeff Bridges is supposed to be 60 here. Like they show him like getting out of bed and like,
he's struggling to put his shoes on in the first episode, or his socks. I mean, like, his socks.
Yeah, the guy's struggling to put his socks on, and then like, come on, let's put this into perspective a little bit.
I get that. Yeah.
If you're an assassin, I mean, it's not like the assassin, does like yoga or stretches or does like a proper warm up before, but they've got not only the element of surprise, but they've probably like at least kind of cracked their knuckles. Yeah. Flex their calves a little bit, like they haven't just, been sleeping or sitting down. So I also catch those things, and that's either way kind of can ruin a show for me. This one came at times a little bit close, but like you said, he relies more on kind of skill and craftiness rather than like sheer overpowering people, know?
But on the flip side, though, I also thought that he was quite naive when it comes to being not taken to the cleaners, but taken advantage of by Zoe, right? Where, you're supposed to be the super spy. You find out that your ex-wife was also this not ex-wife, but like his, wife who passed away, his first wife was also this super spy. And all of a sudden you get taken advantage of by like this, divorcee who's struggling to make college payments for her son. It seemed kind of like, okay, I get that you want to have her be a part of this show and have her organically be involved in your activities. That's fine, but it goes the other way towards the side of realism to say, which is someone like that who's been so careful for 30 years isn't all of a sudden going to also lose half his fortune to someone he's just met literally hours ago.
Yep, true. While we're on the topic of extra credit, can I ask you a question off script, which is The Gray Man by Netflix, which also has a limited cinematic release, I guess, to
I think for Oscar
qualified for What is the films and stuff position towards this? Are we excited? Are we not excited? Is it getting good reviews? What should be our level of excitement on this? So, we haven't really talked about it.
It's a project that's been on my radar for a long time because it's directed by the Russo brothers, who obviously most famously probably known by people for their work in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Obviously, it also stars Captain America, and it also stars Ryan Gosling. So exactly. So it's a very high level cast and production, let's say, team.
Ana de Armas as well,
Ana de Armas. So it's a very high level thing. I haven't seen anything about it. I don't know anything about it. I purposefully not seen any trailers.
I know nothing about plot. I cannot even begin to guess the plot.
All I read in in an interview somewhere was that The Gray Man is based on a book, and there are 7 books in the series, and theoretically, I think that was or maybe Netflix, a subtle way of saying, hey, if this goes well, expect 6 more movies.
Interesting.
Which might be fine, might not. I don't know. It literally dropped on my queue yesterday. So we're recording again on a Saturday as we speak. It dropped this Friday. I'll probably watch it, but having said that, despite its relatively high profile, it's not on I have to drop everything I'm doing right to watch it.
Is it on Netflix now, or is it going cinemas and then Netflix?
It's on Netflix already.
All right. So,
or at least it is here in the UK.
I'll probably watch it on Netflix then.
Yeah, likewise. I will as well. Yeah. The question is, do I want to watch it now and save the Outer Range for later? I don't think so. I think I'm going to watch the Outer Range first and then watch it. I think in terms of excitement, I think that's where I'm at. Is that I'd much prefer to watch the Outer Range, primarily because you've been so enthusiastic about it, and I trust your word over something that I haven't even heard of.
I've got a lot of credibility based on the old man.
You've got a lot of credibility, period. So
I've got a bank. I'm banking on that old man.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you, Hulu. Right.
So I think that's my feeling is that it's definitely going to be something that we should watch and probably discuss, or at least mention in passing.
Yeah,
we'll probably do a quick review one way or another. But if you're expecting that this week to our listeners, you're not going to get it this week. I wasn't even aware it was going to drop until I was told it was on Netflix yesterday. So.
You say that now, but I have a suspicion you're going to come back to me by Tuesday night and be like, you know what? I saw it.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, look, I have not made it a secret that I have a big man crush on Chris Evans. So,
a totally different looking Chris Evans.
He's rocking his goose style mustache as well.
Yeah, and a tight buzz cut. So, okay, super. So that's all of our extra credit, and I think we're highly, highly positive on everything. Next episode, we've got to do a deeper dive of For All Mankind, as we are wont to do. And what else will we touch upon, Pete?
We're going to do a quick recap also of Westworld and Better Call Saul, which is back.
It is back. Okay. First, watch some of these episodes and then catch us for a recap of For All Mankind. And as we blabber away, we've got a lot to discuss this week as well.
That's right. All right, everyone.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day. Great weekend ahead. Bye.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Films and Stuff. If you haven't already, please subscribe and review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever podcasts are downloaded. Films and Stuff. There is no substitute.